are listening to the MercTown Underground, produced by Merc Studios. And now your hosts, SLB and Merc.
So, last year we did talk about a lot of movies. We obviously talked Batman, Superman.
We saw a lot of movies.
We did, and we were talking there's a lot of movies coming up. But before it happened to movies, I think this was something else that showed up after we recorded last week. Was the new Star Wars trailer.
Rogue One.
Rogue One. For those of you who don't know, Lucasfilms, under the control of now Disney, has decided that they're going to milk this franchise till the world ends.
And they're going to make a fuckload doing it.
Yeah, because people are dumb enough to go see them. Hi, everybody. I'm going to go see all the Star Wars movies till I die.
Yeah, me too.
So what they're doing is they are going to stick with the main storyline. You know, obviously, the sequel trilogy and whatever comes up after that. Maybe they'll go further past the prequels. Who knows? But in between each year, because they're going to release a movie a year, they're doing standalone films. They're doing a Boba Fett one I know they're working on. They're working on a Han Solo film. The first one to come out is going to be this December, called Rogue One, which is actually the story on how the rebels get the Death Star plans. So the trailer came out, and all of a sudden, 7 was cool. 7 seemed more modern, more like Star Wars was. But this takes you to that exact period of time where Star Wars, the universe, began as we know it, with Episode 4. I don't really know what to say about this trailer because my mind's been blown. I've seen this trailer like 20 times. And it's 2 minutes long, and everything I see, from the walkers, from the people, from the ancient Chinese guy who's going to teach him how to fight, because, you know, you can't have a movie about people fighting without ancient Chinese guy teach you how to fight, especially in a galaxy far, far away, because there's in far east in that galaxy, I guess?
It looks interesting.
We'll be going to see it.
We're going to see it the night out. We're going to love it. Even if it sucks, we'll probably still love it.
It's Star Wars. I mean, it can't be any worse than other things we've seen, like, the prequels. That's a whole debate. So there's pros and cons in all of those. But we're excited. If you haven't seen the trailer, definitely check it out. I had no interest in that movie till that trailer came out.
Much agreed. I kind of snarfed off, especially since it was so soon after 7.
Yeah. And it was just kind of like, oh, we're going to just do a spin-off. What? This is going to be like a musical, and there's going to be, Disney princesses, and there's going to be an animal friend that kind of helps them along. Oh, that's Disney. That's every Disney movie. But,
well, it's better than the sounds of a Pokemon live-action movie. Oh, wait. That's a thing, too, now.
So, before we jump onto that, currently Warner Brothers is in a legal dispute with Legendary Studios and Sony to get the rights to make a live-action Pokemon movie. Which is something that would be, A, really cool, or B, it's going to bomb.
I believe the bomb part.
It could bomb. But again, Pokemon, going back to the Pokemon discussion we had, when we were younger, kids went retarded for that kind of shit. I remember when they said they were making a Pokemon movie, and again, you remember being little, something's going to be on the big screen. That was like the epitome of, like, anything. When they released the new Star Wars, that was the big thing. When they released... If it was going on in the theaters, that was like the coolest thing on the planet. I mean, it still kind of is.
I get it. CGI is really good right now.
Yes.
There's something about it, man.
What makes me wonder is why the Japanese haven't done this yet. Why aren't the Japanese doing this?
20 years later, because Pokemon just celebrated their 20-year anniversary.
20-year anniversary. It's the franchise that was supposed to be just a fad. It's probably bigger now than it ever was. It's Pokemon to us is like Mickey Mouse was to kids in the 20s. Or what? Scooby-Doo was to the kids in the 60s and 70s. You know, those franchises that were big.
People still play the game. People still love the Game Boy Color games. I literally today just sent all of my Pokemon games out to get their batteries replaced because after a while they do die and you lose your save. And I did have a complete Pokedex on my Pokemon Blue, and I'm very sad about that.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I feel the pain.
All 151 gone. I will of course work on getting it back. I have 2 Game Boys. I have a link cable. I can do it no problem. It's just going to take some time. I never completed the Pokedex on Gold Silver. I also own those as well. I did have a lot though. I was probably only 20 away.
Those are bigger Pokedexes, and even now they're at 7 something.
And they're so hard to get some of the older ones in the new games. I have them emulated on my laptop, but I don't have the urge to collect them all. A lot of people only accept Generation 1. I accept Generation 2, but
2, yeah. I mean, there's some cool ones that they throw up, but they what can you do? How much more can you go?
I mean, we got fucking, as I mentioned before, Vanilla Bite, the ice cream Pokemon, and all that other shit.
Yeah, some of them look really stupid. Some of them have stupid names. A cool thing that Nintendo just announced, well, actually, I don't know if it's been out for about a year now, it's called the Pokebank. What you do is you download it for your Pokemon, for your 3DS, if you have a 3DS. You pay a yearly annual fee, it's like $5. And what you can do is you're now able to trade, because now they released the first generation games on the Virtual Console. You can trade those, put those in the Pokebank, and you're going to be able to trade them with the newer games. Obviously, you can't go backwards, but you can go forwards, which is great, because if I have Silver, if I have Squirtle or Bulbasaur or, Charmander, and I'm playing the newer games and I want them all, I can waste my time and throw them into the bank and just keep generating them.
Even with Gold and Silver, they had like a specialty way of trading with blue, red, and yellow.
Yeah.
It was helpful. I did it a lot. I'm really happy I'm getting my batteries replaced. It'll last another 15 years. I got, 15 years to build it up. And I know they make some form of memory card, and I should probably invest in one.
Yeah. But going to the movie, I think it's going to be fascinating who gets... honestly, I don't understand why Warner Brothers doesn't have the rights to begin with, because that show is always aired on WB or CW or UPN, growing up. So I always felt that Warner Brothers had those rights, unless there's something else going on.
Well, if Pokemon Go gets big, when it comes out, that could just help it more. You're talking a live-action movie after you're playing basically a simulator of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Basically made by the same people that make Ingress. And they finally released screenshots recently. It looks fucking amazing. So, with Pokemon Go, this movie could still work out.
I think it's going to happen. I'm actually... Part of me is like... So I'm excited. Overall, I'm excited. Is it going to be good or bad? That depends on when it comes out. What... I think it's probably it's late. You would have thought they would have done it when it first happened, when it first came. Because nowadays, when there's in Japan, a good example is Attack on Titan. That's an anime that's become very well known in the past few years. There's a manga before that.
Anime's getting bigger in general lately.
Yes, it's always been there, but it's becoming as popular as just American cartoons. It's getting definitely a bigger following. But some of these movies, they make manga, they make the TV show, and then they make a live-action movie with it. So I'm surprised they haven't done so far. So there's a couple of last week actually. There was a big cinema convention I didn't notice, and there was a lot of new film releases announced, a lot of new names, and a lot of new trailers.
Honestly, you didn't tell me about this before we recorded, so I have no idea what's going on.
Well, first of all, I think this is where the official Batfleck movie has been announced. He will be directing, writing, producing, and acting in it as Batfleck. Yes, I'll call it Batfleck. Hashtag Batfleck. I don't do hashtags, but for Batfleck, that happens. This is where the new Spider-Man title had been announced, and I already bitched to you about this. I bitched to John Lipinski about this. Spider-Man Homecoming.
You did mention that.
Let me tell you. Peter Parker isn't no ordinary boy. His parents are dead. But when he gets bitten by a radioactive spider on a school field trip, his world turns upside down. Starring Tom Holland as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Two girls we have signed up to 21 and they can't do anything else but kids' movies as Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane. Peter Parker
Schneider as a stapler.
Peter Parker must save the girl, fight the bad guys, and get to the dance on time. Spider-Man Homecoming, premiering after reruns of Zack and Cody, only on Disney Channel. That's exactly the vibe I get from this fucking title.
It is pretty bad.
It's I don't know. Again, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know anything about this film, except they're trying to get Michael Keaton to play the villain in it. Which is funny because J.K. Simmons, who played Jameson in the Spider-Man movies originally, is now in the Batman movies as Gordon. Stuff like that. A lot of superhero movies, a lot of, franchise movies have been announced, posters were released. Which kind of brings me to something I was having a discussion with my best friend about. So I've noticed recently that most of the time we go to the movies, we're going to see franchise films. Franchise could be just Disney movies. Anything that's Disney or Pixar, that's just one franchise in itself. We're going to see Star Wars movies. We're going to see superhero movies, whether it be DC or Marvel. Ghostbusters Ream, that's a franchise in its own right. Jason Bourne's getting a reboot. I don't know if it's a reboot or a sequel or what. But there's a lot of franchise movies, and I don't feel like, besides Hardcore Henry, there's nothing that's really stuck out to me recently. I don't see anything in the... Unless I'm missing something.
You are.
There's a lot of focus on franchises when it comes to films, and I think it's...
What about the lucky guys?
The nice guys?
The nice guys.
Was it Ryan Gosling?
What's his face?
Oh, what's his face? Yeah. Older actor too. They kind of went a mix on this one. No, that looks good. The Nice Guys looks good. Everybody Wants Some looks good. That's it's supposed to be like a 1980s film where it's supposed to take place in the 80s, where there's like a baseball college team, and it has this. It almost looks like Dazed Confused or like Fast Times. One of those kind of coming of age films. That looks good. But there hasn't been really anything else that stuck out because they're all kind of Russell Crowe. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
I feel like all these other independent films, these lesser-known films, are being covered by franchise films. Which, if there's anyone else out there who knows of any other good films coming out that aren't a franchise-related, please let us know.
I'm sure there are. They're just not getting the advertising.
No. I mean...
It's much like Walmart competing with, Bob's freaking Radio Emporium.
Yeah, nobody...
Who are you going to see advertising?
Bob's freaking Radio Emporium. Nobody's going to go there. Everyone's going to Walmart because it's dirt cheap. And there's a Walmart in every basement of everyone's house, almost.
We're actually in a Walmart right now.
Yes, we're in the basement of a Walmart. That being said, there's only two that my friend Jack, who's on Binge Media, mentioned to me. One of them is this movie called Passengers, which is a Chris Pratt movie. First of all, I will watch anything with Chris Pratt in it. I think he's like the next big thing in Hollywood. Well, he is. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was in Jurassic World. What else is he going to be in? I don't know. Maybe he'll be president one day. Maybe he'll play, Ronald Reagan in a movie. No idea, but I think he's like the next big thing. But I know it's like a space movie where him and this woman are traveling throughout space, and they wake up 90 years earlier from, what's it called when you're in a deep sleep, traveling through time?
Coma?
Something like that. Cryo freeze or something like that. 90 years too soon in the middle of space. Don't know too much about it. I know it's supposed to come out in November. Another cool film I noticed was, I didn't notice, my buddy Jack mentioned, was this movie called Silence. It actually has Liam Neeson, Andrew Garfield. Oh, who's the third other big actor? Not Ewan McGregor. That'd be funny. It's a Martin Scorsese film, though, and I know a lot of people are big into Scorsese. Like, when it comes to directors, he's one of those directors you see his movie because he directed it kind of deal. There's supposed to be, it's based on a true story, Catholic Jesuit priests, missionaries, who go over to Japan during the Edo era, and they get tortured while starting a missionary. And I've seen some photos from it, and it looks interesting. I like films like that, kind of like The Revenant. That was very slow. Liam Neeson, Andrew Garfield, and Adam Driver. So yes, Kylo Ren will be in Japan.
Interesting.
Benicio del Toro's in it. It looks like a good cast, big cast. But there hasn't been anything that really stuck out to me.
Well, much like everything else, the big corporations are gonna be most of your advertising, most of what you see. Smaller movies are gonna go the wayside.
Yeah, so if there's anything out there, guys, let us know. We're curious. We're always looking for new things.
Well, think about Drive. That movie, was it even in theaters?
I think it was maybe a limited release. But even as a limited release, how far did those go? New York and LA? Theater here, theater there?
That movie made most of us respect Ryan Gosling.
Actually, to be honest with you, I didn't really care for him until I saw that movie. And I'm like, he's a good actor. I think the problem with actors like that is they get covered in the fact that they're acknowledged as sex symbols rather than
Ooh,
actors.
it's a Notebook. Ryan Gosling's in the Notebook. I don't give a fuck.
They both die anyways. At the end of it,
Do
that's
they
what
really?
happens. Yeah, they both die in bed together, and it was like, oh, it's so cute. They die together. It's like, yeah, they're dead. The movie can end now. I sat there with my cousins and watched it, and they were crying, and I'm like, this is the stupidest fucking love movie I've ever
I
seen.
did get forced into P.S. I Love You. That was terrible.
Wait a minute, which one was that? Was that the Channing Tatum
Some
one?
of the, I don't
Where
know.
he got to an accident and his wife was in memory?
No, he had like a brain tumor, but he left all these clues around for like months, and she went on this like fucking trip following the clues, like, even though I'm dead, this is what I'm thinking of you, and all this shit.
Maybe I saw that. Was Channing Tatum in that one?
I don't fucking know.
Because I got sucked into that. I got sucked into a couple of them with my ex-girlfriend. Not really worth watching. But
I
What was
hate
the-
sappy fucking movies.
the 80s, I think, was the epitome of romantic comedies where they were actually funny. And they were like, okay.
They were
I can-
tolerable for sure.
Or like, the last one I remember that I really enjoyed, and it's more of an Adam Sandler movie, was 50 First Dates.
Yeah. I
Where
don't
Drew
know.
Barrymore keeps forgetting and he has to kind of remind her. And then Rob Schneider's in it, and she tackles him and attacks him with a baseball bat.
That wasn't a bad movie.
But yeah, we're always looking for other non-franchise related films
I
to
think it's
watch.
the 19th time you said that.
I have, yes. I'm just like,
You want to make it 20? Just even number.
we're looking
always
for
looking
more
for-
non-franchise films to watch.
Alright, got even 20 now.
Okay, we will no longer talk about films since I seem to be repeating myself.
Yo, you definitely repeating yourself.
But we were talking earlier. There was a. I'm gonna jump over the video games quickly.
Oh, what about the Sniff and Glue topic?
There wasn't really a topic on that one. It
Oh,
was
we're
just
just
happening.
sniff glue.
That was just happening. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We're gonna do a how-to later. Yeah.
Oh, so we're gonna go to this other topic. What's this other topic?
You tell me about a merger in the video game industry currently.
Yeah, Sony decided that Evolution Studios needed to go away. They made Drive Club. Kind of flopped when it came out. Had a lot of potential. They made it better. They actually did fix it. Evolution Studios made the MotorStorm series, which was a Sony exclusive arcade racing game. Excuse me. Where running ATVs, BMX rather. What the fuck am I talking about? It's getting late. Fucking beat. ATVs, motorbikes, monster trucks, buggies, rally cars, all in one track was a good idea. Every car had a strong path, a weak path. You know, monster trucks are good through mud, bikes not so much. Bikes are good for jumping. Monster trucks should only hit a wall when trying to do narrow jumps. So it was kind of this balance of pick your vehicle, then pick your path, find the fastest way around there. MotorStorm was a really good series. It was very hard because they decided to use Rubber Band AI, which I know I've talked about in the past.
Yep.
And they were very aggressive about it. But overall, MotorStorm was still amazing. The graphics were unbeatable. Just the concept of all these different vehicles racing on the same track. Having kind of an equal chance is amazing. The first one was just a desert. The second one was around a volcano that had like these 4 different regions. And the third one was a city that was collapsing and falling apart, earthquakes, lava, because earthquakes destroy a lot of fucking shit. So you'd have a skyscraper falling, and you got to avoid that while racing. Good times. However, Drive Club was more of a somewhere in between arcade racing and simulator. And apparently Sony was not happy with it, and they let them go. And Codemasters, and kind of a really surprising move, actually picked up the whole crew. I've seen so many video game companies I've loved just disintegrate over the years. The companies that made Time Splitters, the companies that made Mercenaries, all these amazing games I loved for the PS2. And yeah, this guy went to this studio, this guy went to this studio. You know, the best ones found a job somewhere.
Others maybe found something.
But Codemasters took the whole crew and literally just took them all. And Codemasters is a pretty damn good racing game company too. I don't know if you played any of their games.
No, I actually haven't.
They made the Grid series.
Okay.
I love the first Grid. It's probably my favorite arcade racer. I'm obviously more into the simulation, but for an arcade racer, the first Grid is very hard to top. It just the Pro Race Drivers series, Toka series. They've made a lot of racing games. I think they made the Dirt series too, like the Dirt Rally.
Okay,
games.
yeah, I know those.
I loved Dirt 3. 99% sure that was them.
Most kids like Dirt, though.
I think Ubisoft is their parent company,
Okay.
but they're their own publisher. I think they only make racing games. But to take a whole crew of people over, they got to be doing something big. They got to be planning something big.
In any industry, when you take a whole team like that instead of like nitpicking, there's something else going on. There's some bigger picture that is being seen.
And I don't think when Evolution left that they had the rights to MotorStorm. That I don't know. I'd have to do some research. Another MotorStorm game alone would be amazing. Because MotorStorm was only out for PlayStation.
Yeah.
So imagine MotorStorm coming out for all consoles and actually have a chance of surviving. Much like Infamous, PlayStation only. Very good game. If it was all systems, it probably would have got a little bigger. Because it's way better than Prototype.
Yeah.
Not as much gore, not as much hilarity to it, but gameplay-wise, all day.
Yeah. Actually, I just picked that one up from you, actually. I gotta still play that one.
I still gotta play the PS4 version of it.
What, they updated it?
Yeah, they have one game for PS4 called Second Son.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
When you finish Infamous 2, you'll learn why there's a new generation. Actually, well-written story. It all goes together very nicely.
You mentioned something
I
that clicked, and I don't know if it was a sequel or what. And I didn't even have we didn't even have this. What I'm about to mention on the fucking
That's another good top 5.
script.
PS2 franchises that died before the PS3 came out. I can do probably like 15 of them.
Talking about it, well, talk about PS3 franchises. Where I don't even know where it started. I guess supposedly the map for Red Dead Redemption 2 got leaked.
Really?
Yeah, and again, that's a game that I still have to start.
You never played the first one?
I have it. I picked it up. I just
That
haven't
is
played it.
Probably my favorite. Top 3 for sure.
Video games overall? Or are you talking shooters or open world?
For an open world game, definitely my favorite
Okay.
of all time. Period. It's not overwhelming, but there's still a lot to do. As much as I can say that Fallout's a quality game, I'm sure I mentioned this before, I can't play it. My OCD would kick it. Red Dead Redemption, it gives you a ton of stuff to do, but it's fun the whole time. It never feels overwhelming because you do make progress. It's like Fallout or Skyrim, you do one side mission, you get 9 more.
Yeah. I mean, in Fallout, there's a lot of like little things where it's kind of like if you just want to like gain XP, you end up doing little tasks. But with Red Dead Redemption, so going back to Red Dead Redemption 2, the map, and again, I haven't played it, and I want to play it. It looks kind of big. I don't know how big the original map is. I'll have to post this online.
It was a pretty big map in the first one.
I'll post this one. I'm just showing Merc right now.
Damn.
That's any bigger? Or?
Yeah, it's big. I mean, the first one you had Mexico, you had, Arizona. There was a lot of map in the first one. So.
And
I don't think it's as much as that, but it was still very respectable.
And supposedly it'll be a prequel. So I don't know why you call it Red Dead Redemption 2 if it's a prequel. I don't have too much more to say besides Doom's coming out in a couple of weeks. Definitely picking that one up. Deadpool's coming out on Blu-ray on the 10th of May. I know everyone on the planet who saw that movie's picking that up.
It's me included.
There were a couple albums in May that were coming out. Not really too much to say. There wasn't really too much excitement like the week before.
It's very weird when I say the most anticipated album for me right now is that Dead by Wednesday album.
I think for you it's most anticipated because of its obscurity. More, it's not so much that it's obscure, but they got all these other singers to sing on this album, which, when we were looking that up, I did see that there was a single already released, so we'll have to check that out later.
Absolutely.
But I think I'm golden, I think you're golden, I think we're good, we covered what we have. You know, there's not much more to say. I think we're both kind of, like, exhausted.
We're staying underground, the sun's coming up.
Yes, if not...
6 in the morning.
It's almost
probably
6.
Going to release this around 9. It's probably only a 3-hour downtime.
Gonna go eat a little bit, gonna go chillax, prepare ourselves to go see Dream Theater.
He's going to go smoke some crack, but you know what? He needs it.
But yeah, this has been episode 2 of the MercTown Underground. I'm the SLB.
I am Merc.
Guys, have yourself a wonderful week.